Hey, what's going on everyone? Jake Rico here, coming at you with a contest entry video for Kryptonianguy. Shoutouts to you, man. Thanks for having this contest. I believe this is my second contest entry for you throughout your previous contest videos. But yeah, he asked what is our 5 favorite horror films that we have in our collection. I mean, it didn't have to be horror. It could have been drama, action, thrillers or suspense. But yeah, anyways, I'll get started. Coming in at number 5, we have The Exorcist, a classic 1970s horror film. Actually, yeah, this was filmed in 1973. Stars Linda Blair, a possessed child. It's just classic. There's so many remakes after this. Not, I won't say remakes, but there's actually so many Exorcist movies after this one. Just that kind of base it on true stories and stuff like that. But I believe this one is just overtakes all of them together. But yeah, I just don't watch the other Exorcist movies just because I just think they're lame. I always got to stick with the original Exorcist. So yeah, The Exorcist. Coming in at number 4, I have The Omen, starring Gregory Peck and Lee Remick. Just another 1970s classic horror film. Just about a boy who's possessed by the demon. I wouldn't say he's kind of like possessed, but he's kind of like the devil's child in a way. He's got 666 inscribed on his scalp. But yeah, just a very interesting film, well scripted. It goes through his father going through and trying to find out like what's wrong with his child. So he goes on a journey. But yeah, it's just a phenomenal film. So yeah, The Omen coming in at number 4. Alright, so coming in at number 3, I have Misery, starring Kathy Bates and James Caan. An iconic character, Annie Wilkes. If you haven't seen this movie, a classic 1970s horror film. Just an obsessive fan that takes care of the injured James Caan. He's like I think he's kind of like a dramatic author. He does like romance novels. So she kind of takes care of him, and she kind of keeps him imprisoned at her house, just so he can make another book of her liking, because she doesn't really understand where the characters are going through in his novels, and she kind of wants a happy ending with the characters, but James Caan, the author, wants the story to go in a different direction, and he doesn't want to continue with those books anymore, so he kind of wants to like kill off the characters or just break them up. But yeah, just another classic horror film. Definitely watch this movie. You'll probably have nightmares after this, so we'll see. I have Halloween 2. The best one out of the series in my opinion. I know a lot of people like the original. I like the original, but I just have to go with Halloween 2. It's just another amazing film, well scripted. I think it takes Halloween to another level. Just the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis is injured. She can't really go anywhere in the hospital. She can't really walk. She's just stabbed in the leg, and Michael Myers is back to hunt her down and kill her. So it goes through a lot of sequences where Michael Myers goes through and kills a lot of people in the hospital. But yeah, just a classic horror film. I highly recommend this one over any other Halloween film. But definitely watch the original first, because this is what takes after. So yeah, Halloween 2. And coming in at number 1, just another classic film. This one was filmed in '89. But I remember this one in particular when I was a kid. When you would rent videos from Blockbuster, this was back in the day when they had VHSs, no DVDs. And this movie in particular would take 2 VHS tapes, part 1 and a part 2. Part 1 is when they're kids, and part 2 is when they're older. But I always enjoyed part 1, and part 2 I really didn't like, because it just took the story to another level, to the point where it wasn't even horrific anymore. But the movie is It. Stephen King's It. Man, I mean, this movie brings back a lot of memories. I remember this one in particular, when you would rent a movie and you would watch it, and you're just terrified of that movie afterwards, you just didn't want to even touch the box anymore because it was just like just it being around. It was like a bad possession like to have around you. But anyways, Stephen King's It is about a clown, Pennywise. I'm not too sure how the story came about because I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I just remember certain scenes in the movie that I thought were very horrific to me when I was a kid. But you know, these kids are pretty much have the same. They're all related to this clown in particular. I guess he's in their dreams or something. Or I don't want to like butcher it right now because I really don't remember how the story went. But I'll point out one scene in particular that horrified me when I was a kid. Was when the kids were looking through a photo album, and they kind of look through the picture and they're like, oh wait, is that the clown that, you know, that's in our dreams, or, you know, that's haunting us in a way. But the picture comes to life like a video, and they're watching it, and all of a sudden Penny's just in there doing his own thing, and he kind of looks up and he sees the kids looking at him through the picture. So he kind of looks up and he runs towards them, and he climbs on this pole that's right next to the picture, and he puts his hand out and tries to grab them. I think that was probably the most horrific scene I've ever seen. But yeah, Stephen King's It, highly recommend it. Part 1 for sure. Part 2 it's okay, but I highly recommend Part 1. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. Now I have some notable mentions. I want to just kind of give them these are runner-ups, so I kind of want to give them just recommendations real fast. I'm not going to go into too much detail with these movies, but I have one. Here's Child's Play. This would have been number 6 on my list. Classic movie. Chucky the Doll. Watch it if you haven't seen it. This would be at number 7. Amityville Horror. Classic 1970s film starring James Brolin and Margot Kidder from Superman, and Rod Steiger from In the Heat of the Night. Number 8 would have been Stephen King's Pet Sematary. Classic film. I remember watching this as a kid. Just scared the hell out of me. Part 2 was also scary as well, but Part 1 was probably the best of the two. And last but not least, I had to pick this one up because it's another one that just kept with me my whole life as a classic horror film. Not too many people know about this film, but if you're a horror fan, I'm pretty sure you will know this film. It stars George C. Scott, and it's The Changeling. I remember watching this as a kid. I mean, when I watched it now, just recently, last week or 2 weeks ago, I wasn't, you know, scared of it anymore. But when I was a kid, I was just really scared of this movie. It's about just haunting a haunted house, and yeah, it's just a crazy movie. So yeah, The Changeling, highly recommend this. Alright guys, so this is my contest entry for the Kryptonianguy. I'll leave his link down below. Go subscribe to him. He has an awesome collection. Steelbooks. If you like steelbooks, go to this guy. He's the king of steelbooks, as so they say, but I believe it. I've seen it. But yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Please comment, like, subscribe. Jake's Rico signing out.